welcome back to my channel. Hello. I am so excited because what brought me here today is some book mail, and I know how much we love exciting book mail, and I got some books and I don't know what they are, so I thought I'd open them with you. It's a combination of books that have been sent to me, books that I have gotten at events, books that I've pre-ordered, and books that might not have been released yet. So excited to put some books on your TBR as they go up on my shelves. So let's get into it. So the first package that was sent to me is from Harper Via, the Nomad edition, inspired by Japanese paperbacks and their translated fiction. So the two that were sent to me are Counterattacks at 30 and the Tatami Time Machine Blues. The Tatami Time Machine Blues is the second book in a series. The first book is the Tatami Galaxy. This one's like a time-bending sci-fi, a Japanese translated fiction. And Counterattacks at 30, it's like a work rebellion coming. It kind of gives Severance vibes. So if you're into translated fiction, check these out. Another book that I got is Selfish by Karen Docherty. This is a memoir that I got at a recent HRC event. There's a short about it on my channel, so feel free to check that out. This is about reclaiming and unlearning and telling the truth about motherhood. This explores women's everyday struggles, like putting yourself first means putting down boundaries that we don't always talk about. It comes out on April 21st. And another book that is on my TBR that I recently got in the mail comes out on Tuesday, April 24th, and it is Kin by Tayari Jones. Kin is a novel based on two women who grew up together. Both had lost their mothers. One was abandoned by her mother, and the other one, her mother had passed away. And one of the girls is taken in by a fierce aunt who kind of like gives her some direction and guidance and support throughout her lives, and the other friend is kind of like lost within the system, not really cared for and supported in the same way as the other friend. Let me give you their names: Vernice and Annie. So Vernice is the friend who is taken in by the aunt, and Annie is the one who's abandoned by her mother as a child. And it kind of talks about the differences in how they're raised and how that incorporates into their lifestyle and like their foundation for success. It's a novel about mothers and daughters, friends and sisterhood, and the complexities of being a woman in the American South. I'm so excited to read a book by Tayari Jones. And they also sent these friendship bracelets that say Kin on it. I got two. I have been wearing mine all week. I'm really excited about this release. There's so many layers to this lit fic, and you all know I love a layered lit fic. This package is a package from HarperCollins. I believe it's from Harper Via. I saw it being packed on Instagram, and I only know that because the color of this mailer is exactly the color of what I saw being packed. And I commented and I was like, I hope my name is on this list. And if it's not on this list, how do I get it on this list? Because this is a book that I'm super excited about. And it is that book. So let me explain. This is Strange Buildings, which is part of a Japanese series by author Uketsu, and Strange Buildings comes out on March 3rd. I love the sticker. It says, I like to read strange books. And Uketsu is a Japanese content creator that stays anonymous, but we've been reading all of his books. Strange Houses is something that came out, I think, in 2022. It has all of like the Japanese horror fans loving it, and like there's so much buzz about it. This book focuses on 11 strange buildings, each with its own twisted floor plan and eerie backstory. Disappearing rooms, a hallway that leads to nowhere, some apartments that have no means to escape, and each of them hold a terrible secret. Thank you to Harper Via for sending this to me. It has been one of my most anticipated translated fictions coming out this year. So Forever blessed me with another fantasy. This is a book about a quest, a slow burn romance with a morally gray hero, very touch her and die, that has a found family and yearning at its best. And that is The Silversmith by LJ Claren. Sounds to me like there's a lot going on in this one, and I'm excited to get into it. Ooh. This one I was expecting. It is The Valley of Vengeful Ghosts by Kim Fu. Postcards that say, greetings from the Valley of Vengeful Ghosts. Obsessed. Obsessed. One comes out on March 3rd from Zando. So this one I found very intriguing because it's based on the main character, who is a therapist. She is grieving the loss of her mother, and her mother was like a really big part of her life in the sense that more than just a mother, she orchestrated her meals, did her laundry, like was kind of someone who catered to her. Our main character's name is Eleanor. um so her mother passes away, and her final wish was to use the money that she leaves Eleanor, for Eleanor to buy a house with. So Eleanor is like so overwhelmed and like paralyzed by this big decision that she has to make without her mom, that she ends up impulsively buying like a model home. So she ends up buying a model home, and then this biblical rain starts, and it's this torrential downpour that just continues and continues and continues, and it starts to impact the foundation of the home. And there are cracks and flooding and all of these things that happen. And then the reality starts to intertwine with delusion or paranoia or paranormal paranoia. We don't know. Eleanor's clients' stories and traumas are coming out within the home. So this is a combo of literary fiction and horror. Kind of sounds like Weird Girl Lit, but I can't make that claim until I read it myself and deem it my fave genre, Weird Girl Lit. I'm really excited about this one. It sounds like the perfect mix of literary and horror, and the fact that the main character is a therapist. I always think about how other therapists are managing the traumas that we vicariously live through with our clients. I know that that's one of the most difficult parts about being a therapist for me. So the secondhand trauma is real sometimes, and I'm intrigued to see it written about in a book that is fiction with horror, because literary fiction and horror are two of my favorite things to read. So I'm excited about this one, and it is a concept that I never thought I'd read about, and I'm lucky to get this copy. It comes out on March 3rd, and add it to your TBR, and maybe we can talk about it together. This is The Power of Real Optimism by Dr. Deepika Chopra, and this comes out on March 10th. Thank you to Simon Element for sending this to me. This sounds like a book that focuses on how to be optimistic even when life is not being so kind. Dr. Deepika Chopra has labeled herself as the optimistic doctor. She is a clinical psychologist and also a content creator, toolkit to navigate the chaos that life comes with. That is also science and evidence-based. Mindy Kaling blurbed it, saying, as a lifelong pessimist, this book annoyed me by actually working. My friend Deepika somehow snuck practical science-backed optimism into my brain, and now I'm happier. Damn her. Read it. I am always cautious when I hear like be optimistic, because sometimes toxic positivity can like take the center stage in these self-help books. So I'm intrigued that it's evidence and science-based, because that means that there has to be some practicality and evidence behind it. And I hope that I can learn something that I can then pass off to my clients. And one book that I pre-ordered is The Baby Dragon Bookshop by A.T. Qureshi. A.T. Qureshi is a Long Island-based author, and she was at a local Long Island indie bookstore. And unfortunately, I didn't get to go to meet her, but I was able to pick up a signed copy. This is the third book in a series. The Baby Dragon Cafe is the first one, and the second one is The Baby Dragon Bakery. And this one came out on February 12th. This is a cozy fantasy. I've heard a lot of good things about this series. I love a cozy fantasy series, and when it has a bookshop, that just takes me over the edge and makes me implored to buy it. I haven't read the cafe or the bakery, but when I see bookshop, I know that I can put the pieces together to just pick up where the second one left off. I might read the first two, I might not, but now I have this one and I'm excited to read it. The second book that I picked up is A Woman Is No Man by Etaf Rum. Etaf Rum is a Palestinian-American author. This book is a story about a conservative Arabic family, and it's told between the POV of the daughter of the family and the mother of the family. The present day is Brooklyn, based in 2008. Etaf Rum lives in New York, so whoop whoop. But the present day character, our daughter that we follow, is Dea, and Dea's mom is Isra. And Dea is under the impression that her parents passed away in a car accident, but someone kind of gives her some inkling that there's more to the story. I think it came through like a secret note that she found. So it flashes back between Dea's present day and her mom's POV, which was from 1990 in Palestine. I've heard so much about this book and so many great things about this book that I was always intrigued to pick it up. And I went to a Galentine's event with my friend on here, meet us at the bookery. Knew we wanted to get a book because when you purchased a book, you got a blind date with a book, and I can never say no to a blind date with a book. So I knew that I wanted to pick something up, and this book has been on my TBR for so long that I decided to grab it. And I'm really looking forward to reading it. There are so many layers to this that I think would be really nice to discuss in a book club as well. So if you haven't read it, maybe hit me up on Instagram and we can read it together. The blind date with a book that I ended up getting for purchasing that book was Television for Women by Danit Brown. Came out in June 2025. It sounds like a weird girl lit, and I will tell you why. For fans of Night Bitch, a darkly humorous debut novel asks what happens when motherhood isn't all that it's cracked up to be. Our main character is Etsy. She's 8 months pregnant, and she isn't even sure if she likes her husband anymore, especially after he's been fired from his job. After she gives birth, she begins to suspect that all the stories she's been told about motherhood might not be completely true. She feels like having a child doesn't complete her as it was advertised to her, and she doesn't feel like she has this great connection with her child. It sounds like it's an honest take on what motherhood might be like to people who are suffering from postpartum, explores the demands that children take on a woman's identity and her sense of self after birth, especially speaking to the relationship that she has with her husband. I'm intrigued. It sounds like a weird girl lit take on motherhood. And I felt like this was perfect for me. So the last book that I picked up was Please Don't Go by Salvador. This book was independently published by Salvador, but it is being traditionally picked up and the audiobook comes out next month. And I'm so excited to listen to it and read it at the same time. I will be buddy reading this with a friend on Instagram, and I'm really excited about it. This book is about two main characters. Josephine is our female main character, and Daniel is our male main character. They're both suffering from grief in different forms. Josephine's just trying to like figure out her life and where she wants to go from here, and Daniel is a budding baseball player who's on the road to be first picked for the MLB draft. But underlaying all of that, he's dealing with grief and the loss of his brother. They find their way to each other, and I think that it sounds like they bond over their own grieving journeys and find comfort in one another. I'm looking forward to reading Salvador's writing in a longer format. Let's Pretend was kind of a novella under like 200 pages. So this seems like it will have a lot of quotable lines. Salvador's writing in Let's Pretend was easy to read, very digestible. But I'm looking to reading her writing in a longer book. And Please Don't Go will be a book that I pick up starting this week. So let's see how it goes. And those are the books that I have been hoarding and waiting to share with you all. If you've read any of these or if you're looking forward to reading any of these, let me know in the comments below. If anything that you've read recently goes along with this genre that I have put all over the place. As you can tell, I like to read romance, literary fiction, horror, nonfiction, everything in between, fantasy, romantasy, cozy fantasy, all of the things. I truly read everything. And I think that's what makes me perfect for this space, because I just would try anything. So if you know any books that might go with any of those genres and you recommend them, let me know in the comments below. But I'm excited to get to it, and I will keep you updated in all of the wrap up videos to come. Happy reading to you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.